Hello! Now, as you know, I've been both performing a lot of experiments in my lab as well as building gadgets in my workshop for a long time, and I have shown you some of that in my videos. But being a scientist and a tinkerer isn't enough if you really want to be a superhero or a supervillain for that matter. Yes, you have to be able to invent and make super weapons, of course. But on the other hand, you also need superhuman fitness and strength, and the only way to get there is to work out and to do your exercises. Now, I actually used to do a lot of sports, but in the last 3 years I was more and more concentrated on improving the new workshop and working in the lab. I became more and more comfortable with sitting on chairs all day, and I thought I could live like this. But as of late, I'm having this weird dream over and over again.
You lost your edge. I know you're ready to die and you're all messed up inside. But the truth is, you didn't look hungry. Now when we fought, you hit the eye of the tiger, man. The edge. And now you gotta get it back. And the way to get it back is to go back to the beginning. You know what I mean? Maybe we can win it back together. Eye of the tiger, man. Eye of the tiger. Eye of the tiger. Eye of the tiger.
Okay guys, I'm back. Okay. Okay, so I'd say let's go back to the beginning, or up the stairs to my exercise room, which has been lying more or less idle for years. As you can see, I have actually quite a lot of equipment and few excuses for not exercising anymore. What you see is a freestanding barbell rack and an adjustable bench. In conjunction with a multitude of different bar and dumbbells, you can do a lot of very different exercises with the help of this stuff, and I used to do just that. In the other half of the room, you see the components of an exercise machine that I once designed and built myself. I used it for a period of around 3 years before I came to this place, which again was 3 years ago. I haven't even bothered to reassemble it ever since though. I designed it under many constraints. I only had an angle grinder, a hand power drill and a cheap arc welder, plus a few pliers when I started to build this thing. All parts had to be small enough to fit in the trunk of a mid-sized car, and the entire thing also had to fit in the corner of a room and under the low ceiling of my place back then. Nonetheless, it needed to have a lot of capabilities. I will now reassemble it and show you what I came up with back then. First of all, I made some kind of support on which the structure would stand. Already mounted on the support is the lower tower section. By the way, all this was made from 90% scrap metal. I didn't choose ideal parts, but simply worked with what I had. Mounted to the support are then 3 massive steel legs. They are quite heavy and strong, since they, like the rest of the structure, have a wall thickness of 4 mm. Some M12 screws can be used to correct irregularities of the floor. A middle section is then added, which will later hold 2 vertical bars that can be used to make dips, which is one of my favorite exercises. The upper tower section is then mounted to the headpiece or boom arm of the exercise machine. Then the two are joined with the lower structure. The core of the machine is now standing and it could already be used to make pull-ups with parallel grip. But in addition, a pull-up bar that allows for different variations of that exercise is added. Next, a sled that will carry ordinary barbell weight plates is added. The gravitational force that pulls the sled down will be redirected by a multitude of pulleys or cable sheaves, as you will see. They come in very different shapes and forms here because I simply used what I had or could buy for little money on eBay. Now the dip bars are added. And to the left and right of the boom, 2 arms are installed. Now on the middle leg, another assembly is added that will make it possible to use this as a rowing machine. A strong aluminium plate on which my feet will rest is then bolted onto it. An additional pulley can here be inserted in one of 5 different slots to change the height of the pulley, again allowing for more variations. This pulley can not only be used for rowing, but also for cable curls and related exercises. Now the first of the actual cables is inserted. It is led around a group of sheaves on the left arm, passes the sled, goes up again and finally reaches the right arm. At both ends, stainless steel balls prohibit the cable from being pulled in too far. On each side, steel handles are then attached to the ends of the cable. The machine can now be used to perform cable flies and many similar one- or two-handed exercises. Another set of sheaves down here on the left and right leg can be used to again redirect the force. For that, extension cables must be added though. Now a second cable is added. It's the one that leads over the actual boom. To use cable 2, cable 1 must first be disconnected from the sled and is temporarily attached to the tower. Now a variety of handles can be connected to cable number 2. This can for example be used for cable pushdowns. With the help of a third cable, the lower pulley is attached to the sled. And after attaching the handles, the rowing machine is ready for action. So this should give you a taste of how I accomplished to add a lot of capabilities to my home gym. As I said, I used this thing for years on a very regular basis and I never hurt myself or had an accident. So at least for me it is stable enough. On another note, yes, I'm totally out of shape right now, but I'm willing to change it and I'm going to start today. Glorious code, there's no surrender. His body says stop. His spirit cries, never deep in our soul, a quiet ember. Knows it's you against you, it's the paradox that drives us on. The battle of wills in the heat of attack, it's the passion that kills, the victory's yours alone. In the burning heart, just about to burst, the quest for answers and unquenchable thirst. In the darkest night, rising like a spire, in the burning